He had no fear from the first round. Khalil Rountree went in there and started going at it the minute the bell rang. No fear, no jitters, no nerves. I mean, maybe he had some jitters and nerves. If he did, he didn't show it. He went right in against one of the baddest dudes of all time and just started mixing it up with him. It was awesome.
Fala galera, tudo certo? Sejam bem-vindos ao Arena Nocaute. A luta entre Khalil Rountree e Alex Pereira, no último sábado, ainda está gerando muito assunto. Foi uma batalha incrível, e muitos lutadores e comentaristas ficaram impressionados com a atuação de Rountree. Ele mostrou que é um verdadeiro guerreiro, aguentando uma quantidade impressionante de golpes e levando a luta até o quarto round. Eu legendei e trouxe vários comentários sobre essa performance notável. Mas a questão é, será que Khalil Rountree merece tantos elogios? Deixem suas opiniões ao final do vídeo.
There's no one else that I think has been that successful on the feet against Pereira at 205 pounds, man.
Right.
So he should be applauded. He's a stud. He's also shows a lot of class after the fight every single time.
Oh, he's the man.
Dude's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect this guy. But, I mean, does anybody, did this not play out the way everybody thought it would? I mean, everybody knew, everybody at first was like, oh, he's ranked number 8. But you knew it was going to be a badass fight. You knew it was going to be a badass fight. You can never measure heart. You don't know how that's going to go. Huh? Now you know.
The tides have turned. You're on your last legs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're about to hit the deck. You're exhausted. You're bust up. You can't see. You've got blood dripping down over your eyes. Doosh, you're still taking shots, but you've still got the balls to you know what? And he landed a couple. You got to respect that, man, because 100%. It's so easy to go down. Because you've taken enough damage. You can fall down to your knees at any time. You can curl up in a ball and let the referee stop the fight. But he wasn't. He was still trying.
There's a picture floating around the internet, guys. If you haven't seen this, there's a movie picture of Khalil looking beat up. The movie set, they will make you look as gruesome as they can, right? They add makeup, they add cuts, they put blood. It's unbelievable what they can make you look like. Right next to it is a picture of how he actually looked Saturday, and the movie picture couldn't even get it as gruesome. Crazy that the movie set couldn't even make him look bad enough compared to what he really looked like after that fight on Saturday. It was crazy.
Hey, man, listen, Khalil, this is one of those fights, and you hear people say this, all the time, the cliche of he actually won this one. But he really did. He first of all, yes, he's going to learn a ton from this, but he proved to so many people, myself included, of what he's capable of.
Shots to Khalil because heart. Fighting with a broken nose, fucked eye, and intelligence not to blow his nose, even in the fight. Respect, and the stock goes up after this. So yeah, what a moment.
Threw everything at this guy, and credit to Khalil. First UFC pay-per-view main event, first title fight in the UFC, and he ate him. He ate everything. He ate all the shots. At one point, it looked like his eye was drooping off of his head, and he would not go down. A little stumbling, a little rockage, but he would not go down. Holy shit, and we know what those shots do to people. Just ask Yuri. Just ask Jamal Hill. Ask Izzy. Ask Sean Strickland. Ask all those dudes.
The main event definitely delivered. I got a lot of heat for my take and my breakdown saying that Khalil Rountree has a good shot at winning this fight. Everybody was kind of clowning what I was saying for the most part. And I think Khalil held his own and showed the world how good he truly is.
And credit to Khalil Rountree and his team, as I just mentioned. They took away the head kicks. They took away, not for a long portion, they took away the head kicks. For a long portion, but not ultimately, they took away the leg kicks. The left hook was nowhere to be found in this particular fight. Key core weapons of what makes Poatan Poatan. they either neutralized or made it to their benefit.
But could we at least give a little flower treatment to Khalil Rountree Jr. just for the heart, the approach, the overall sort of willingness to commit to the martial arts lifestyle, to even position himself for this opportunity when he lost to Marcin Prachnio with respect a few years ago, to have dropped his third fight in his last 4, and nobody could have foreseen this.
As for Khalil Rountree, that was a lot of damage that he took. I hope he takes a lot of time off. I hope the UFC gives him a bonus. I don't know what the bonus system is going to look like at this point, but I certainly hope that there's something for him. Let me see here.
He came out inspired. He came out, despite maybe having a little bit of doubt in his head, because I think that was present right before the fight a little bit, I think, in his eyes. I mean, anybody would if you're looking at Pereira across from the cage, but, especially given the fact that he was a striker. But, dude, he performed amazingly well.
He had no fear from the first round. Khalil Rountree went in there and started going at it the minute the bell rang. No fear, no jitters, no nerves. Maybe he had some jitters and nerves. If he did, he didn't show it. He went right in against one of the baddest dudes of all time and just started mixing it up with him. It was awesome.
I think he goes back to the drawing board and gets better. I think that some of it is it kind of reminds me of Hamzat a little bit. Actually, I had some Hamzat comparisons where if he could have fought at the pace he fought at for the first 2 rounds or 2.5 rounds, if he could do that for 5, he's unstoppable. The problem is, just like you said, you can't fight like that for 25 minutes. It's too much of an output at our size. Some of the smaller guys can fight at that pace. It's just not quite as impactful when they land. But Hamzat is kind of very similar. If you slow Khalil down a little bit, take a little bit of the heat off, is he as effective long term over the longevity of a 25-minute fight? Because he can do that for 3. He'll win a 3-round fight like that over almost anybody.
But, Jamal Hill, had a little words. I think he was making a gesture, maybe that he was yawning or something like that. I don't know exactly what it was. I couldn't, but Jamal Hill has to be careful to not get too overconfident, because he may face a guy like Khalil and find himself, on the canvas sleeping again, because I think Khalil's that dangerous. And for Jamal Hill, I think he should go back to, listen, what made Jamal Hill good was his work ethic and his humility, and I think he needs to go back to that. But anyways, this is more about Khalil, so let's go back to that.
Man, what a way to cap that off, and just by letting the world know and letting the future generations know that you can start here and completely change your life and end here. And he said it all the time. He used to drive by that billboard and he said to himself, one day he's going to be on that billboard. And he said when he was extremely overweight and depressed and dealing with all of the mental health issues, and now completely flipping his life.
He's tough to beat in 3 rounds when he's fighting like that. He's just, it's too much. And so towards the end of the 3rd round, you started to see, I think that last minute of the 3rd round is when Pereira realized, okay, I got him now. Right. But when there's no light at the end of the tunnel and you both know what's coming over that horizon pretty soon, and he still throws back like that, the balls on that guy.
Well, you know what they call that? They call that a fighter.
Yeah.
And we said, look, Khalil Rountree just actually matches up pretty well against Alex. He's got power. We both picked Alex. We said, look, Alex should win the fight. It went farther than we thought. Boom. I'll give it that. We actually were saying, it might not make it out of the 2nd round. It definitely made it out of the 2nd round. And I'll tell you what, Khalil Rountree put on a hell of a performance, but he just systematically was getting broken down throughout the fight. Yeah. I'm not taking anything away from Khalil. I thought Khalil fought his ass off, and you could tell by the end, like, that was a massive cut on his eye. he took a beating in that last round and just tried to stay in it, man. And to the point you looked and you went, it's time to stop the fight.
Rountree Jr. was out there like a guy that overcame extreme circumstances, had a tough upbringing, almost died on his couch. He looked like he was ready to die inside that octagon tonight. Pereira had to show him the way out.
It would have really hurt my heart if Pereira would have went out there and just dusted Khalil. Watching him like have some real serious success and land big on, you know how it is as a fighter, like you kind of sit back and go, shit, he didn't land on me like that till the third round. Yeah. You know, like it was cool. It made me happy for Khalil. Like it was good because there was a lot of doubts. There was a lot of haters that said he wasn't going to hang at all. And so I was just happy for him that he was competitive and showed that like he can fight at that level.
You know, so long as he keeps that same attitude, man, and he continues with all that hard work, I would have him as a favorite against all of those guys. You know, it would have to take, you know, some kind of a grappler to really beat him at this point, or for me to kind of have Khalil as the underdog, because for him to have that amount of success against Pereira, that's a confidence builder. And I think he's going to learn a lot of what Pereira did to him. And yeah, I'm excited for his future, man.